I'm going to show you how I cook and peel Anaheim chilies. You can use this method for just about any chili pepper that you're trying to get the skins off of. So in this case, I tend to choose these peppers based on their shape and size, because sometimes they're all curled up and whatever, and it's hard to get them to sit flat in the pan. So I try to pick ones that are nice and straight and flat depending on what I'm doing with it. If I'm just going to chop it up and put it in a recipe, then it doesn't really matter, and you can use the gnarly crooked ones. But for this purpose, it's easier to sear in the pan. So my skillet's already pretty hot, and I'm just going to set that in there. And I like to actually just use a pair of tongs. I can kind of press it down as it starts to cook and get a little bit softer. You can press on it to get it, you know, the little edges that are, or not edges, like this little ridge right here. When it gets softer, you can press it down flat in the skillet to get the skin to really, you know, bubble and blacken and peel up. So I'm going to fast forward through this next segment so you don't have to sit here for several minutes and wait for him to cook. So I'm going to get this thing going, and I'll show you the next step in another segment. So just to show you kind of what I mean now that it's getting started to start cooking, if I press down on it with these tongs, you might be able to hear the skin kind of sizzling a little bit. And you can hear a little bit of the popping of it going. So just to show you again, it's that's what we're looking for, is that. And so that's why you want to press down on it with the tongs as the chili cooks a little bit and gets softer. I don't know how well you can see it on the video, but like right here is a little bit of a depression, so that's not going to make direct contact with the skillet. So as the chili, and right here as well, so as the chili gets a little bit softer as it cooks, then you can press down on those areas and get it to kind of sear the peel all the way around. So this is going to take, I don't know, at least 10 minutes probably to get it all done on both sides. So actually, I'm not even going to film the whole thing and speed it up. I'm not even going to bother. So I'll just check back in periodically along the way so that you can see how this is done. It's really easy. It's just, again, some people already know this stuff, and this video is of no value to them, and some people don't know this stuff, and so maybe it's useful to some. So I'm just checking back in here. I can smell it already. It smells delicious. I kicked the heat up a little bit higher. It's actually ideal to do this in a cast iron pan like this one, but this is the only one that I have at this location, and that chili is too long to fit into that skillet. So again, I pick my chilies depending on what I'm going to use them for. So if I'm putting it on a sandwich, like a chili on a burger or a sandwich or something, I want them to still be flat so I can cook it in a skillet, but I want them to be a little bit shorter so it's not long and flopping off the whole sandwich. So see, this one would fit in my cast iron skillet, but this one's too long, so I'm just using a regular frying pan. You can do it with a regular frying pan, but the cast iron is the ideal way to go if you have access to that. So again, just checking in on this guy. See, we're getting seared, but again, the low spots are not getting direct contact with the pan. So that's why you want to kind of press down on those portions, and the chili is softening up, so it gets a little bit easier to get it to flex and actually press down to the pan so you can get the peel seared a little bit more evenly across. See, that made a big difference already. Oh, this thing smells delicious. I wish videos could convey the sense of smell. Maybe someday we'll get there technologically. So that side is pretty much about good enough. You're never going to get it always completely perfectly seared, so you just want to get most of the peel off. So it doesn't have to be completely perfect, and so you can hear that skin popping after I flip it over and put a little pressure on it. So yeah, it'll take a little while on the other side. And then once I get the other side done, what I'll do is I'll either just flip it up on edge to get the edges, the sides cooked a little bit. Just kind of hold it in place with the tongs. Normally I do this later after the other side's cooked, and probably will, but you see what I mean? You can get that edge a little bit seared up as well. And when it gets soft enough, sometimes you can actually change what the flat side is and kind of fold it the other way, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm going to get this other side cooked, and we'll check back in a few minutes. So we're pretty much just about there. As you can see, this is why we do this. The peel's already coming off pretty easily. So I'm going to hit these long edges on the sides here just a little bit to get them cooked. And then I'll show you another little trick that makes it even easier to peel them. You want to be a little bit careful not to completely overcook it, otherwise the meat of the chili will come off with the peel. So yeah, you want to sear this at a reasonably high heat so that it gets the peel cooked and doesn't just turn the chili into mush. See, I got juices already leaking out of this guy. Actually, I'm going to just press that down a little bit to speed this up. Yeah, I think that's actually good enough. So I'm going to kill the heat. And one more trick that you can do to help peel these as well. I hope this produce bag that I bought the chilies in isn't too thin for the heat. In fact, I might even let that cool for just a second. But anyway, if you throw the chili into a plastic bag, it'll actually kind of steam itself a little bit in there, and that'll actually make it even easier to peel. So I'm going to set this aside for a minute, or a few minutes rather, and I'll peel it and de-seed it and chop off the stem and all that in just a minute. Alright, so I yanked our chili pepper out of the plastic bag. It's nice and sweated up. So you can see the skin's real loose. So it's pretty easy to just peel that right off. And like I said before, if you overcook the chili, sometimes the actual chili meat will end up getting too soft and it'll stick to the skin, and you lose half your chili in the peeling process. Luckily, I got it pretty much just about perfect this time. So there you go. There's an easy way to roast and peel a chili. And then what I would typically do for what I'm using this one for is just cut off the stem. And you can just sort of butterfly it and split it open. I just kind of wipe out the extra seeds there that I don't want or need. And there you go. So this is ready to go. If you were going to put it on a burger or a sandwich, or what I'm going to do is top it with bacon and eggs and cheese and make a breakfast out of it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.